Love him or hate him, Anakin Skywalker is undeniably the heart of both the Star Wars prequel and original trilogies. As the Chosen One, destined to bring balance to the Force, Anakin's journey is essential in the conflict between the Jedi and the Sith. His fall to the dark side, becoming the infamous Darth Vader, seemed to contradict the prophecy. Yet, through his son Luke, Anakin found redemption, ultimately fulfilling his destiny, but at a great cost. For newcomers to the Star Wars saga, Anakin's transformation from a hero to one of cinema's most iconic villains, and his eventual redemption, can be difficult to comprehend. This character arc spans decades of storytelling, from Anakin's childhood as a slave on Tatooine to his final moments in the original trilogy. To fully understand this journey, it's essential to revisit key moments that shaped Anakin's rise, fall, and return to the light. From slave to Jedi Padawan. Anakin's story began in humble origins. Born to Shmi Skywalker, a slave on the desert planet of Tatooine, Anakin's conception was mysterious. He had no father, and his birth was later revealed to be orchestrated by the Force itself. This event was meant to counteract the Sith's manipulation of life and death through dark rituals, making Anakin the Chosen One prophesied to destroy the Sith and restore balance to the Force. Anakin grew up unaware of his destiny. His early years were spent working in the shop of Watto, a Toydarian junk dealer, where he developed a remarkable talent for mechanics and pod racing, a dangerous sport. His life changed when Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his companions, including the Queen of Naboo in disguise, Padme Amidala, crashed on Tatooine while escaping from the Trade Federation. Qui-Gon sensed Anakin's extraordinary connection to the Force and managed to free him from slavery through a wager on Anakin's pod racing skills. However, Qui-Gon couldn't free Anakin's mother, and Anakin had to leave her behind to begin his training as a Jedi. This separation planted the seeds of emotional turmoil that would later lead to Anakin's downfall. The Jedi Order, during this time, was highly dogmatic and discouraged emotional attachments, fearing they could lead to the dark side. Despite Qui-Gon's belief in Anakin's potential, the Jedi Council was hesitant to accept him into the Order, but after Qui-Gon's death at the hands of Darth Maul, his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi took on the responsibility of training Anakin. This marked the beginning of Anakin's rise in the Jedi ranks, and the slow decline of the Jedi Order. The Seeds of Darkness, Anakin's first brush with the dark side. As Anakin grew, so did his power and emotional struggles. His bond with Padme blossomed into a secret romance, but his attachment to his mother continued to haunt him. During the events of Attack of the Clones, Anakin had premonitions of his mother in danger. When he returned to Tatooine, he found that she had been captured and tortured by Tusken Raiders. Arriving too late to save her, Anakin's grief and rage boiled over, leading him to massacre the entire camp, men, women, and children alike. This act marked Anakin's first significant step toward the dark side, driven by his fear of loss and inability to control his emotions. Padme learned of Anakin's crime but chose not to expose him, believing it to be a momentary lapse in judgment. Their relationship deepened, and they secretly married, despite the Jedi Order's strict prohibitions on such attachments. Shortly after, the Clone Wars erupted, and Anakin was thrust into the role of a military commander, fighting against the Sith-led separatists. The Clone Wars and Anakin's growing disillusionment. The Clone Wars tested Anakin's loyalty to the Jedi Order. He was often frustrated by the Council's decisions, particularly when they withheld vital information or made choices that conflicted with his personal values. A key moment of disillusionment came when the Council faked Obi-Wan's death without informing Anakin, believing he would be too emotionally unpredictable if he knew the truth. This betrayal sowed seeds of doubt in Anakin's mind, deepening his distrust of the Jedi. A more personal blow came when his apprentice, Ahsoka Tano, was falsely accused of bombing the Jedi Temple. Despite her innocence, the Jedi Council expelled her from the Order to stand trial. Anakin worked tirelessly to clear her name, but Ahsoka's faith in the Jedi was shattered, and she chose to leave the Order. This decision devastated Anakin, who saw the hypocrisy and failure of the institution he once believed in. The fall to Darth Vader. As the war drew to a close, Anakin's relationship with Chancellor Palpatine deepened. Unbeknownst to him, Palpatine was actually Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord orchestrating the Clone Wars. Palpatine had long been grooming Anakin to become his Sith apprentice, subtly encouraging Anakin's mistrust of the Jedi and his desire for power. Palpatine promised Anakin the knowledge to save Padme, who had recently revealed that she was pregnant. Anakin, haunted by visions of Padme's death in childbirth, became desperate to prevent another personal tragedy like his mother's death. When Palpatine finally revealed his true identity, Anakin initially reported him to the Jedi Council. However, in a moment of panic, Anakin intervened in a confrontation between Palpatine and Jedi Master Mace Windu, allowing Palpatine to kill Windu and sealing his own fate. In exchange for the promise of power to save Padme, Anakin pledged himself to the dark side and was renamed Darth Vader. Vader quickly became Palpatine's enforcer, leading the infamous purge of the Jedi during Order 66. He slaughtered Jedi, including younglings, and was sent to eliminate the separatist leaders on Mustafar. It was there that Padme confronted him, begging him to turn away from the dark side, but Vader, consumed by his new power, turned on her as well. His former master, Obi-Wan, engaged him in a duel that left Vader maimed and near death. Rescued and rebuilt by Palpatine, he was entombed in the black armor that would become his defining image. Believing Padme and his unborn child were dead, Vader fully embraced his new identity as a Sith Lord. Anakin's redemption and final sacrifice. Decades later, in the events of Return of the Jedi, Anakin's son Luke Skywalker emerged as a new hope for the galaxy. Luke's unwavering belief in the good that still existed within his father reignited the spark of Anakin's old self. In a climactic battle against the Emperor, Luke's refusal to succumb to the dark side inspired Anakin to rise once more. In a final act of redemption, Anakin killed Emperor Palpatine, fulfilling the prophecy by destroying the Sith, but sacrificing his own life in the process. Anakin's journey is one of tragedy and redemption, a hero who fell to darkness but ultimately found his way back to the light. His arc is central to the Star Wars saga, demonstrating the power of love, fear, and the possibility of redemption, no matter how far one has fallen.